Market recap, finishing the morning up $138,000, $138,840.72, which is $2,000 more than I made yesterday. Yesterday I was up $136,000. So two back-to-back big green days. That is fantastic, and this changes the month for me, no doubt. To make over $250,000 in 2 days, that's a big deal. That turns this month around big time. I was up $298,000 on the month before today. Now I'm going to be up $335,000 on the month. Coming in closer to $5 million of profit on the year. This has been an incredible year. Obviously, no question about that. It's been kind of mind-boggling. But we're going to break down the trades from today in the midday market recap. And as always, if you guys have questions, comments, leave them right down below in the comments section on YouTube, certainly on Facebook. And as a reminder, if you didn't already know, day trading is risky, and my results are not typical. All right, so you have to expect, if you're thinking about getting into the market, that you've got probably a 99% chance of losing money. And that means you need to study, you need to read books, you need to take classes, watch YouTube videos, my classes, whatever you want. And you need to practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. Because if you start trading with real money, you've got a really good chance at losing it. And that's what happened to me when I got started. So I'm going to run the intro, and then we're going to start breaking down the trades from today. All right, well, there it is, $138,000. You know, I was up for $27,000 pre-market. I was up $12,000 before I even started streaming this morning. I was trading on my own, earlier this morning. I got up early because of WNW yesterday. WNW, this thing hit a high of $160.68, and it opened this morning, had a low of $54.55. How does this even happen? This is unbelievable. Well, it's a Chinese e-commerce stock. It's a recent IPO. It makes zero fundamental sense for this stock to be at this price. They've done, I think, $2.9 million in gross revenue this year in the previous 6 months. Last year, I want to say they did like $7 million in gross revenue. But that's before expenses. In 2018, I think they did $1 million in gross revenue, and now they sold, I want to say like 20, how many shares did they sell? I had the link over, I was reading through it last night, but now I forgot. But I think they raised around $29 million from their IPO, which was priced at $5 a share. So they sold maybe 5 million shares. Now, in hindsight, this is definitely disappointing when a company does a IPO, even like Airbnb. Airbnb IPO'd at like $80 a share. That's what they sold to the investors. And then on the first day of trading, it was trading at $165 a share. So you know what ended up happening? Airbnb. So you know what ended up happening is they left billions of dollars on the table by pricing the stock too low because investors are willing to pay more. And so on a stock like WNW, to be honest, if you owned this company, you know what the smart thing probably would be to do? Probably to sell all your shares, because this is so overvalued right now, it doesn't even make sense. Sell all your shares and take that profit and go start a new company, because this company is not even, I don't even think they are operating at a profit. So what we know about the market is that the market is, without question, driven by emotion, fear, and greed. Those are the two big emotions. YGMZ, let's look at this. YGMZ right now is halted going up. This had a low of day of 430 and is currently up over 100%. Now, I haven't traded this one today. I'm not going to trade all of them. I'm not going to catch all of them. I'm going to do the best I can. And I caught SCPS today. That was the one that I traded. Yesterday, I traded WNW, and the move on WNW yesterday, this one went all the way up to $105 a share after hours. So I traded it at the open, and the reason I traded it yesterday at the open was because this was a recent IPO breakout. So Joseph, who's maybe still in the room, Joseph, if you're there, he traded this on the IPO day right here. And he said he bought 10,000 shares of it at, I don't know, somewhere right here before this halt. 10,000 shares. It opened, squeezed up to $11.88, halted a second time, opened, squeezed up to $13, and he sold after the second halt going up right in here. And he locked up almost $50,000 of profit on the day. I think he had 2 other stocks he traded. Now I traded it on the IPO day and I made $1,000 with 500 shares. I made $2 a share. And when I heard that, yes, so thank you, Lucas. So the underwriter purchased 1 million shares and from selling the shareholder so they purchased 1 million shares for $5 million. So the underwriter of this IPO owns 1 million shares. Can you imagine owning 1 million shares of the stock at $5 a share? Let's just talk about when you own 1 million shares, every dollar that it goes up, you make $1 million. This thing went from $5 to $160 a share. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's all you can say is wow. Unbelievable. So, in any case, so Joseph had this big trade on it back here. And I had the stock up on watch yesterday. And I think I mentioned during my morning watch list yesterday, I said, you know, if it can break the previous day's high, that's the recent IPO breakout setup. Because what we often see is when you have the first day of the IPO and it breaks that IPO high, which is 1308, you get a big move. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So obviously, Warrior Pro students, this is nothing new to you. You already understand this very well. Let's see. I don't want to, I'm going to put this kind of like here. I don't want to put the whole link there. So let me do a search. So recent IPO breakout. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up the slide, a couple of slides here and just show you this. So the recent IPO breakout is a strategy that I've been trading for several years now. It's not new. And we have so many examples of it. There's a unique strategy around trading recent IPO breakouts. We had this one, and I'll just move some of this. So we've got this one here. No, sorry, I'm over here. Okay, so parabolic momentum on KXIN, day one. So, you know, you've got this huge move here. You've got another one here. This is the recent IPO breakout setup. And when these go, they make some huge moves. So anyways, I don't want to get into all that because that's mostly for Warrior Pro students. But what we had here was a break of the previous day's high. And so when I looked at it, my initial thought was, if it breaks the previous day high, we're gonna get a squeeze. And I was thinking about YQ and a couple of these other Chinese stocks. And I was thinking, all right, maybe we get a nice squeeze up to $14, $15. You know, nothing crazy, but let's see what it does. Because the YQ stock broke the previous high of 12, went up to 13, then it did it again, went up to 15.60. And, you know, it went up, you know, it kept kind of going up a little higher, a little higher. So I was surprised, no doubt, when this one squeezed into a halt and then gapped up as much as it did yesterday. But it did give some nice opportunities early on light volume and then gave an amazing opportunity into the close right here. And let's look at GLSI for inspiration. Because when I was watching this, I kept thinking about GLSI, the recent IPO breakout that we had on this one. And the afternoon move, it was very, very similar. In fact, GLSI actually was not as strong. I mean, this went up to $160 a share, almost the same price, but then it came back down. Win today, this morning, actually, and I'm just saying win because it's just easier to say it like that. Anyways, this one this morning, surprisingly bounced here, halted once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times in a row going up, and it went from $60 to $160 a share. Now, it was on very light volume. I did take one trade on it, and I made $12,000, but I was very nervous. And now it's halted going down. And what we know about stocks halting going down, this is a short strategy, that when they halt going down, they usually open lower. And so I would look at this as a dip trade, the same as you got a dip trade on it yesterday right here when it halted down once, a second time, and then bounced $10 a share off the low. However, we've got a snowstorm outside, and I said I was going to take my son skiing today, so I really do have to go, and I can't hang around for very long. So I may be leaving money on the table today, but I'm going to prioritize what's important in life today. So very nice continuation here, but I didn't really do, I took small trades on it. I bought like 200 shares at, I don't remember what it was $109, and I held into the squeeze higher. Those of you guys who are Warrior Pro students, if you are interested, and I'm sure many of you will be more than welcome to watch my live trading archives for today's trades. So let's look. So on this one right here, just for instance, on this trade here, I was holding 9,000 shares long of SCPS at $31.49. My open P&L is $46,000 on that trade. $46,000 open P&L. And we ended up, as you can see on that one, getting a squeeze up to, on SCPS, just under $50 a share at 48. So this one was, to me, sympathy momentum on the move on WNW, and pre-market had already started to open up a little bit. First pullback, bought up. Second pullback, bought up. And at the open, I bought 1,500 shares, 1,500 shares. That was my fill, and I was in at. Let me go back and look at this. I was in at, I believe it was exactly $21. So let me just go look at this. I was in at exactly $21 on this one. So those are my orders. So I bought this at $21, 1,500 shares. I tried to buy 4,500. I only filled 1,500. It immediately squeezed into a halt and was halted going up right here at 22.90. On the resumption, I added. On the resumption, I added again. And right up here on that red candle, I sold everything. I was afraid that it was going to halt going down. This is the recording, so I do have open orders there. I don't have any open orders in my live platform right here. Thank you, though, for that. Just always good to double check and make sure you don't have open orders. So I got nervous here, and I sold the whole thing. It then ended up continuing higher into another halt and a tap of 48. I took one more trade in that area, and then I was done with it. So actually, this one I didn't realize had already opened. I sort of stopped watching it. So it looks like it came down, it halted going up, it then has halted going down. So right now, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I am feeling FOMO already about the possibility that it does something like that this afternoon. And I'm like thinking, you're up 138,000. Maybe this is the day that I could be up 250,000. Yesterday I was up 179,000, and on my last trade I lost 35 grand. The last trade I lost 35 grand. And I went from up 179 back to 144, which was the same as where I was, 2 hours earlier. So it was like, it wasn't worth it. And I can't trade on my iPhone, while I'm sitting on a ski lift. So not this kind of stuff. So I really have to be here. I think that I'm going to have to just accept the FOMO and be grateful for what I have and leave it to you guys to, trade as you wish through the day. But one thing I will say about both of these that is a risk factor is the risk of a T12 halt, which would be a stock halted pending providing more information to the exchange. Because when you have recent IPOs that make these types of moves without a clear news catalyst, and given the financials of the company not really being able to substantiate these moves, it's concerning. And so I think that is a risk factor that I started to think about more as this got higher, because when I was holding the 9,000 shares, the fact is 9,000, oh my gosh, look at YGMZ. YGMZ. So, guys, these are going to go with or without you. Many of them are going to go without me. And that's just the way it is. You can jump on the train, or the train's going to leave without you. It's your call. Sometimes the train leaves without you, and you know what the best thing to do is to wait for the next one. You jump on a train that's already moving, you're going to lose your legs. It's not worth it. So this is one that maybe it goes to, is it a somewhat recent IPO as well? It is. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to grab a screenshot of this, and we're going to add it to the classes under recent IPO breakout. So recent IPO breakout strategy. So we're going to have all four time frames here. So it's going to be just like that. And we're going to save this and put this in recent IPO breakout. Recent IPO breakout, and this is YGMZ. So I like to have these, obviously any opportunity to keep adding good content to the class I'm gonna take. I am going to be teaching, we've got winter school that's going to start probably in January. We just haven't announced the start date yet. We'll see where we're sitting when it comes to, I suppose, on enrollment when it comes to early January. We'll see how we do during the New Year's Eve sales. We'll probably be reminding people we've got winter school starting, and so. But anyways, as I get ready to teach winter school, I want to make sure these classes are on point. So this is just an opportunity for me to get lots of good content when we have a market like this. And of course, the live trading archives you guys will really enjoy. So those are for you. So at this point, I was holding 275 shares at $105, which is crazy because it ended up going to 160. My best exit when it opened up here and I started seeing red, I got out. I hit the bid. I said, all right, that's it. And I only had 30 shares I was still holding, but I was holding them from $109. 30 shares, up almost $30 a share. So, or whatever it was, $50 a share. So anyways, took that off the table. And in this case, I was right to take it off the table. On SPCS, I took it off the table on this red candle and it went higher. And so I felt a little annoyed because I was like, gosh, darn it. If I'd had that full 9,000 shares all the way up to 48, 49, that would have been about $170,000 in one trade. And, we're in a market that is no doubt driven by emotion. And so when we have this level of FOMO in the market, right, I think the question is, how can we capitalize on that FOMO, which is certainly creating this high level of volatility, without falling victim to it? You know what I mean? That's the thing that I'm concerned about, because if we fall victim to the FOMO, then that's when we're going to start doing stupid stuff. You're going to start buying something up here at 45 and holding and hoping and averaging down. Now, my hope, obviously, for students is that as much as possible, you're able to learn my strategy. You're able to see from my own experiences, my own ups and certainly my own downs, how I trade through these markets. But it is going to be up to you to be able to manage that risk and to be able to make good decisions. So, I encourage you guys to be trading in a simulator before you ever trade with real money, because it can be, it can certainly be very, very disheartening to see a stock like this and feel like you missed the whole thing, and then you're the one getting in really late, and then you screw up the trade, and then you see something like whatever it was, YGMZ, and you totally missed that, and then you buy that too late, and you can just feel like you're constantly 2 steps out of line, and that's something that you got to work on. So yeah, I don't know. So although today I do feel like this would be a good day for me to probably stick around the whole day, I'm going to prioritize being a good dad, and I'm going to be taking off, but I'll be back here tomorrow as always. And we'll see whether or not, we'll just have to see what kind of action we have tomorrow. This is unbelievable. It really is. So, but the challenge, even for me, is not falling victim to FOMO. And last week, so within the span of 1 week, I have had the biggest loss of my career, which was on GLSI. I lost $58,000 in one trade. And now I've had 2 of my biggest winners of my career, over $100,000, both on Win and on SPCS. It's not a coincidence that my biggest winner and biggest loser of my career are within 4 days of each other, or trading days of each other. It is because of the extreme levels of volatility in the market and the extreme emotions that those bring out. And last week I had a couple days where I fell victim to FOMO. I gave in. And this week I've been better at capitalizing on opportunities and easing off the throttle. Although again, like I said, yesterday I did lose 35,000 off the top, but generally my strategy is that I keep trading these until I have a loser. So, if I have a 10% or 20% loss of my day, then, at that point I'm like, okay, that's fine, right? Because otherwise you never know really when to stop. If I stopped when I was up only 119, then who knows, maybe I could have gotten to 200. But I went all the way up to 179 and I started to pull back. And as soon as I started to pull back, I said, all right, that's it. I'm done. So FOMO, fear of missing out. It's an emotion that drives the market. And it drives it not just on small caps, but on large caps too. We look at Tesla up, 500%, 600%. This is looking for a move up towards 700. It's not just small caps. It's the entire market. And the overall market yesterday hitting, gapping up, and I guess we're right up at highs right now. It's pretty wild. So, for those of you guys that want to learn, I'm happy to teach you, but you have to know that if you're thinking about learning how to trade, you've got to be pretty brave. That's why I named this website Day Trade Warrior and then Warrior Trading, because you've got to be a warrior. You've got to be brave. You've got to be a little crazy, because you're fighting the market every single day. And the majority of people that come in to battle this market are walking out with their tail between their legs, and they're really, they're gone. So the odds are against us, but that doesn't stop many of us from trying it each day. And I keep trying it, and I will keep trying it. I'll keep coming back day after day after day, until I suppose for me, until I don't have the energy to fight it anymore. Because every day that I come in, I have to be at peak performance. It's like being a professional athlete, I think, in a way, just because you can't come in, you just have to stay at the top of your game. Otherwise you start slipping and you start making mistakes, and that's it. So anyways, good job for those today that did well. Joseph, I saw him put $111,000 on his P&L in the chat room. That's amazing. Again, I would add my disclaimer that his results are not typical, neither are mine. They're not a guarantee of future results or anything that will be achieved by you. We can't guarantee that you'll even make $1. But what we can do is we can teach you everything that we know about the market, me and the other, certainly the junior moderators and other students that are part of the community. We'll teach you as a beginner trader. We all try to give back to people that are in the community, and that knowledge can only help you in your pursuit to better understand the market and to learn how to trade. But it doesn't come without risk, so you just got to know that. You're right, just like skiing. So I'm going to go skiing. I'm going to try not to get a concussion today, and I'm going to try not to let my hands get too cold, because I'm going to need these tomorrow. And I hope that you guys all have a great rest of the day. So thank you guys for today. Congratulations to those that did well. For those that sat on the sidelines the whole day, I give you a lot of credit for showing that restraint. Practice in the simulator. And go back and watch the live trading archive of today and look at the places where I press the buy and sell button. Study it. Warrior Pro students. It's an opportunity for you to learn my strategy more and more every time you watch those. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, I've had 2 really great days here. Have not been running the morning show past 9:30. Just been doing my trades for the Warrior Pro students. And I would encourage you guys, if you haven't already joined the community, to join us either as a starter or a pro student, so you can watch me trading. But if it's not the time, it's not the time. At least please hit that thumbs up on this video. So thank you guys, and I'll see you all first thing tomorrow morning. And I'm going to put up my disclaimer one last time in case you hadn't already read it. Okay, see you guys tomorrow.